Good morning. In my morning meditation, I was reading and studying, and the question came up, who is walking with you? And it came from my meditation of when Jesus had resurrected, and he saw two guys that were headed toward a village called Emmaus. And he saw him talking, and they were discussing everything that the events that happened prior to his death, up to his death, and so he started walking with them. Now, they didn't recognize who he was, and as they were walking and discussing this, he began to expound on what they really were talking about. And so he expounded the scripture and opened up their hearts to what the scripture was really talking about, what the prophets were saying back in the day and all the way up to what had happened. And so I got 2 points out of this meditation that I had, because further on down the line, after he got through expounding, they sat at a table and he broke bread. And he broke bread and he gave it to them. And then that's when their eyes became open. So the first point is when they didn't recognize him at the beginning, and because they were so focused on the events of the past, and they were not focusing on what he said at back then of the future and the present of what's going to take place. And so sometimes, we're walking with people that do not add value to our becoming. And when Jesus expounded on those scriptures, he was adding value to them because he was opening up their minds to what the scripture was really talking about. And again, sometimes we're walking with people that's not able to give us value to where we're going or what we're going to become. And then the second point, and so that first point is be careful who you're walking with. Be careful of those that are not able to add value to where you're going. And so the next point is when he did something familiar, that allowed them to open up their eyes. Now, the scripture doesn't say why he did this, because immediately after he broke the bread and their eyes became open, he disappeared. So the scripture doesn't really say why he did what he did, but my thoughts is that it was something familiar to them, and their eyes became open because they saw something that gave them some recognition of they had seen it before. Now that's my thought. And so what I want to say to you is sometimes people will come into your life that will add value to you, but at the same time they are not there to change who you are, but to add value to you, to help you get to where you're supposed to be or to become. Let's put it like that. They're there to add value to you, to help you become who you are supposed to be. And so a lot of times we're stuck in the past of where we was, instead of trying to get to where we supposed to be and who we are to become. And then people come into our lives, but because we're so stuck in the past with our mindsets, with our thinking, with the familiarity, because sometimes the familiarity will keep us ingrained into where we were instead of where we're going. And we don't recognize who have come into our life to add value to us. That's why I said, who is walking with you? You got to know who's walking with you. Do they add value to where you're going? Are they at least giving you something to grasp hold to who you are to become. We sometimes we get stuck on these jobs, and because we're familiar of what we've been doing, and we're successful, but at the same time, inside of us, we're miserable and we're unhappy because the value of who we are to become is just not there. Hi, I'm Dr. Tanya Hightower, Life Purpose Consultant, Motivational Speaker. And I just wanted to come on here and encourage you. This is the morning empowerment and morning encouragement to ask you a question. Who are you walking with? And, I work with professional men and women who are lost just like you to discover their purpose. And sometimes, we're stuck in a place. We're stuck in the past, and we just need that little push to push us to purpose, to push us to who are we're supposed to become. And in my meditation, Jesus was adding value to them and expanding their minds on what the scripture was really saying. And sometimes people will come into your life to just help you and push you to where you're supposed to go and who you're supposed to become. And if that sounds like you and you want to talk about it, you want someone to add value to your life, then leave me a comment or DM me, and hey, we can talk about it, and we can see where you're supposed to be and who you are supposed to become. All right, just wanted to give you this morning empowerment, and I pray you guys have a blessed day.